are inseparable. However, they each have some specific characteristic. It said, Parakyaya Shakti Rapridat Api Susve Mahimani Stito Jivakyam Svam Achit Abhinam Dhamtiparikam Svatantricham Shaktim Shakala Vishay Prerana Paro Vikharitya Shunya Parama Purushayam Vijayate. It said that Parakyaya Shakti Rapridat, that the Supreme Personality Sri Hari, he is non-different from his potencies. So it's saying Hari is the Supreme Lord. It's saying in the beginning that Annaya Para, that described how Hari is the Supreme Lord, and Nara Hari is Nrsimhadev. So really Hari is half man or half lion. So this is Swarup Shakti in like combined form. Shakti Shaktiman, as we heard this morning, like Mahaprabhu appears. Radha Pavadviti Suvaletam Nomi Goda Swarupam. On one side, it is the complexion and the mood of Srimati Radhika, and then the Krishna himself is appearing. So similarly in Nrsimhadev, it is Ishvar Vishnu Tattva. Therefore we are following Ekadashi. We're not taking grains, so it's not that it's not Ishvar Tattva, it's Vishnu Tattva. But there's a predominance of this mood and Ras of Swarup Shakti. This Vatsalya Ras is there. So when he's manifesting to protect his beloved devotee Prahlad. And so we see the entire universe, actually it's manifestation of Shakti, Swarup Shakti. That's why it's saying Vikharit Daishunya Parama Purushayam Vijayate, that the Supreme Lord Hari, he's without any transformation. He is existing in the spiritual realm, and the entire material manifestation, the spiritual manifestation, is all a transformation of his Shakti. As Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we are following Shakti Parinamvad. So even the different incarnations of Vishnu, this is coming from Swarup Shakti. So therefore there is no reason to be perplexed, thinking, oh, how is it that Nrsimhadev is this incarnation or manifestation of Swarup Shakti? That from Swarup Shakti we know there is Sat, Chit and Ananda, these three potencies. Sandhini Shakti, which is manifesting as Guru Tattva, and Baladev Prabhu is the original root of this. And then there is Sambit, which is Krishna, and Ladini, which is Srimati Radharani. And in some different incarnations we find that there is predominance of one of these three tattvas. It may be Sandhini Shakti is there prominent, or Sambit or Ladini. We see in certain incarnations very special ones where there's a combination of Sambit and Ladini. Like in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sambit means Krishna. Krishna is there, and Ladini means the mood of Srimati Radharani. So in Sri Nrsimhadev we find this special conjunction where there is both Vishnu Tattva and this Swarup Shakti is there as coming with that Vatsalya mood to protect the Bhakta Prahlad. So for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, why are we giving so much importance to Sri Prahlad? We find that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he gave Harikatha about Sri Prahlad, as he said, 108 times. And so many important teachings are there in what Prahlad has taught the students and what he has spoken to his father. It's especially important in the Bhagavatam. We see almost the entire 7th canto is dedicated to the history of Sri Prahlad and Nrsimhadev. Just like the 10th canto is for Krishna, the 9th canto there's some history of Ram. We see that the pastimes of Sri Nrsimhadev and Prahlad Maharaj is so described at such great length. So Prahlad Maharaj, we heard yesterday what is the power of Harikatha over ordinary person's austerities. That Hiranyakashipu, he performed austerities for 60,000 years, only with the aim of granting immortality to his physical body. So this is really showing his complete ignorance of the absolute truth, because he's attached to that which is not his self. It's not really his. And Prahlad Maharaj, in the womb of Kayadu, his mother, he for 60,000 years heard Harikatha from Narad Rishi. So he understood from the very beginning, which is Atma Tattva, or what is the self, all the way to the highest Braj Katha. Narad Rishi is a Braj Bhakta. In Braj he is Narad Gopi, Madhumangal. So within 60,000 years, it would be very hard to think that they did not speak all these different topics all the way up to Braj. Why not? So Narad Rishi, within 60,000 years, Prahlad Maharaj received this wealth which is greater than the entire cosmic manifestation combined. All the wealth that we can find in this world, we think of diamonds, jewels, that is all material, and it cannot gain the eternal joy which is found in the soul performing its true dharma. When the soul is engaged in its proper activity, then happiness is gained. But by any material activities, because we're not following our dharma, we're following this false religion or false dharma, constitutional function of the body, the mind, the senses, and we cannot be happy. So, Hiranyakashipu, he was for 60,000 years doing austerities, so difficult. And for us, all we have to perform is the simple austerity of being present in Harikatha. But, like we heard this morning, we should not be present absent-mindedly or attached to our material family, relatives, or desires. Because then everything will wash past through us like water thrown upon a rock. Nothing will be absorbed. So we should take away all our material desires, all our past remembrances, and we should have firm faith in Harikatha and know that, oh, I've passed millions of lives in the cycle of birth and death. I've had so many different family members, but really all this is illusory, and I should fully focus my mind and heart on those words coming from the lips of the sadhu, the Harikatha. Why? Because this is that medicine which is a tonic which completely cures one of this disease of material existence. Satam prasangam mama virya samvido. This is Satam prasangam, means mama virya samvido. Krishna himself is saying that this is my very power, my virya, is the Harikatha, or these words spoken by the sadhus. So this is such a powerful thing. Narad Rishi spoke for 60,000 years to Prahlad, and at that time he was protected in the womb from Maya. You know, like Sukadeva Goswami, he was for 16 years in the womb of his mother, and he was hearing the Bhagavatam from Sri Vyasadeva. But he was afraid to come out of the womb because he said, oh, Maya will attack me. So finally Krishna came, and he said, oh, for that time that it takes for one mustard seed to fall, I will remove Maya. Then, what is Maya? That Maya is this attachment to family life. This is the only thing that's like an anchor binding us to this world. Because life after life, we're born alone, we must die alone, we don't know where we're going, where we came from, but still, we become attached. As soon as we come out of the womb, we become attached we're surrounded by our family members. So Sukadeva Goswami is afraid of this. He said, oh, please remove Maya. Then as soon as he came out of the womb, he ran to the forest. So this is described in the beginning of the Bhagavatam. But what happened when Prahlad Maharaj took birth, he had heard Harikatha for 60,000 years. So this had made him so powerful, there was no chance of Maya at all gaining an inch on him, on his firm conviction that I am the eternal servant of the Supreme Lord Sri Hari. This is my constitutional position, and I am the servant of that servant, of the servants of Sri Hari. And who is Hari? We know that Hari is not alone. Hari is he whose heart has been stolen by Hare, Hara, Srimati Radhika. So he has offered himself completely into their service. So there's no chance of him becoming bound by material attachment. And we see in the teachings of Prahlad a special significance given to completely trying to free oneself from material attachment. And this is our first and foremost duty. That we can perform so many spiritual activities, so many austerities, but as long as we remain attached to material life, it's described like being in a boat where your anchor is set and you're rowing and rowing, but you're only going in circles. There's the story of a wedding party. They once wanted to go cross over to the place where they're having a marriage, and at night the captain didn't pull up the anchor and they just went in circles. So it's the same thing. we perform so many austerities, so much spiritual practice, but we have not taken up this anchor of our material attachments, we'll only go in circles. So Prahlad showed at the beginning that he had no attachment to Hiranyakashipu, no attachment to his mother and his demonic friends and relatives. And we heard also how he was such a charming, beautiful boy because he was empowered with this Swarup Shakti. So when he was young, 5, he was sent to school. And there we heard how he had 2 teachers, Sanda and Amarka. One is representing the bull, San, and the other is a panda, monkey. And so we know by the bull that engaged, they're not so much intelligent and they're only engaged in material pursuits. They want to work so hard for economic development. And the monkey, they may show that they are renunciant, they have no possessions, no cloth, but if they get a slight opportunity, they'll steal or they'll enjoy with so many different partners, so they have no consideration of any morality or anything. The only rule in this world is eat, sleep and be merry, or beg, borrow and steal. This is the philosophy that they can teach. But they teach it in a polished manner. So they began to teach Prahlad Maharaj Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. But because their dharma, their religious activities are only for the purpose of Artha, getting material wealth, and the Artha only for the purpose of Kama, sense gratification, therefore it's complete illusion. They don't really know, and Moksha, they claim what is Moksha. Actually, their idea of moksha is only that I will gain a greater enjoyment, I will become like God himself. Moksha, there's 4 types of moksha. That will have a planet like God, or you'll be like the form of God, you'll have the opulence of God. So this is devoid of any real spiritual sentiment, and it's completely devoid of the real dharma, which we find in our sastra. So this is called the darkness of ignorance. It said, Agyan tamira naam kahi ekaitava dharma artha kama moksha vancha anishav. That this Agyan tamira naam, this tamira, this dark Agyan, ignorance, is called cheating, the cheating propensity. And it is dharma artha kama and moksha vancha anishav. So all this material, dharma artha kama and moksha, it's only based on the cheating propensity. So Prahlad Maharaj, he was taught this by his teachers, but he completely neglected the instructions because he had already given his life, his heart and soul to his Gurudev Narakrishi. He had already offered himself completely. So his teacher's words, like it said, we should not accept any bad instructions or any asat sangha, any asat prajalpa. We should put in one ear and out the other. And any good things we should take in our heart. So Prahlad Maharaj completely neglected all of this. And when Hiranyakashipu called him, he said, oh, what have you learned in school? My dear son, he took him on his lap, smelled his head, said, what have you learned in school? Prahlad Maharaj said, Tat sadhu manye asura varya dehinam sura samudigna diyam asatkraha itvatma padam grihamanda grupam vanam gatoyad harimashvayat. That from his very infancy, Hiranyakashipu had been teaching him, oh, the greatest enemy of our line, our family is Vishnu. He killed my brother, and I spent 60,000 years becoming immortal so that he could not kill me. But he does not know that time or providence cannot in any way be swayed. That without any doubt, we must die. We cannot, our bodies, we have karma, and when our karma is up, then we'll have to die. So he's telling his father that actually the greatest thing I've heard is Tat Sadhu, that great thing I've heard, O King of the Demons, you are the greatest of all demons, is that one should completely forsake this Griham Andhakupam. This is the dark well of family life. Family life is described like a dark, blind well, full of so many serpents, and if we go in there, we think, on the onset, we think we'll be so happy in this. Like it said, there's a story that one time a man was running down a hill being chased by a tiger. And he fell into a well and he caught himself by 2 branches. And there he was hanging, and he said one branch, or the branch began to be eaten by 2 mice. One was black and one was white. And underneath he saw they were gnawing away at the branch. Underneath he saw there were so many serpents. And above him, outside the well, there was a tiger. So if he climbed out, the tiger would eat him. He saw that inevitably he would fall down and be killed by the serpents. But then there were some few drops of honey falling from a tree branch, and he would stick his tongue out to lick those. So it's described in the story, Gurudev would say that this is like that happiness we find in material life. We know that the mice are day and night, they're eating away our time, and we have so many different troubles, like the snakes, there's always some calamity or some disturbance, and then the tiger is time waiting to devour us. So Prahlad Maharaj is telling him we should escape from this well. How can we escape from this well? You have to take that rope or the hand of mercy, which is given by the sadhu, let them pull you out, and then Vanam Gadoyad Harim Ashrayat. You must take shelter of Sri Hari. How can we take shelter of Sri Hari? By the mercy of the sadhus. Therefore, in the beginning, he says Tat Sadhu Mandir. This is accepted by sadhus, saintly persons who know the truth. They understand this. So, understandably, his father became very upset, and he called Sandan Mark and said, "Oh, why have you taught him this nonsense?" They said, "No, we have not taught him this. We taught him the school curriculum that you must try to get so much wealth, you must try to enjoy your life, you must cheat others, do anything it takes just to be happy in this world." So they said, "Oh, he's still young, we can change his mind. Someone must have come and given him this false intelligence or this false knowledge." So again they sent him to school, and later again they brought him to Hiranyakashipu, and again he sat him on his lap and said, "Oh, now what did he learn?" And he told him, "Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smarnam, Pada Sevanam, Dasanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Pada Iti Pungsarpita Vishnu, Bhaktis Chandava Lakshanam." That he's saying that the highest Pungsarpita Vishnu, the highest endeavor, the highest knowledge is that one should engage his mind, body, words, everything in the service of Shri Vishnu through this process of bhakti. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevam, Archanam, Dasanam, Sakyam, Atmani Vedanam. That through hearing, chanting, remembering, through worshipping, through prayers, through all these different means, one should somehow please the Supreme Lord Hari. And so he became very angry at this, and again he sent him back to school, but it said there he also changed all the students, and he taught them Atma Dharma. He taught them that you are not the body, you are the soul, and he said all these material endeavors, tat prayasam kartavyo yada ayur vyaparam atma vidadeshamam mukunda chandam bhujam. That all these material activities, tat prayasam, they're only useless activities. Tat prayasam yada ayur vyaparam, you're only wasting your life in all these things, but they cannot give you the highest gain, the ultimate goal of life. And he taught them all these things he had heard from Narada Rishi for so many years. And then easily he turned them into bhaktas. And they began to chant. So then, when his father heard of this, he again called Prahlad, and he was determined to have him killed. And he asked him, "Where have you heard all these things? Have you heard this from your teachers?" He said, "These teachers are complete foolish men. They have no ability to have this higher understanding, this higher knowledge." He said, "Matirna Krishne Paratasvadova." That their intelligence is not towards Krishna. Matirna Krishne Paratasvadova. They're engaged in other things. Mito Vipadite Grihavratanam. They are Grihavrat. They've taken a firm vow to live in family life, to try and enjoy as much as possible. Therefore, they are like blind man leading another blind man. Such a man who is blind, if he tries to lead another person, then invariably they'll both fall in a well or some ditch. He said it's impossible that they could have thought this. Why? That they vidu sarta vidim hidishnum durasya yevihir artamanna andayatandil upagiyamanas devishatantriyam upadamni vada. He says, Punash charvita charvananam. He said that they're only chewing the truth. In material life, all these sense pleasures we've had, again and again we're eating, sleeping, mating, life after life after life. We don't realize that we're only chewing the truth, that no real happiness is there, but still we're doing it. And he says the only way to get out of this situation is that we must take the footsteps of those Vaishnavas, who are Nispinchan, and take full shelter of them. Naisam matista varudukramam pisattanarta bagi mahiyasam padavajobisekam nispinchananam na vrintiyavat. The only way to be freed of this material existence is that we must take shelter of those lotus feet of the Vaishnavas, who are completely surrendered to Sri Hari, and we must follow in their footsteps their path of bhajan. So Prahlad Maharaj taught him like this. Afterwards, Hiranyakashipu, we know he tried so many ways to kill him, But it's impossible. One who is surrendered to Sri Hari, they have no fear of anything in this world. So Krishna is protecting them in all cases, in all circumstances. So after Lord Nrsimhadev, you know how he appeared? Hiranyakashipu had the boon that he could not be killed by day or night, on land or in the sky or in any way. So Lord Nrsimhadev, he appeared from the pillar. It said, we see Krishna, all his incarnations appear where the father or mother, Yashoda, Nanda, Devaki, Vasudeva, Krishna, Sudhava, or Keshava. But here it's only from a pillar Nrsimhadev has appeared. We heard how in Jagannath Puri, near Jagannath, there is the Sudarshan Chakra in the form of a pillar, and how Jagannath is also coming out of this. And we know Prahlad, he is not, Nrsimhadev is not, he's Ishtadev in the sense that he is worshipping Krishna. He said, Matirna Krishna Paratasudova. He's worshipping Vishnu and Krishna, and he says that in the further verse he speaks about Lord Govinda. But still, Krishna has so many different manifestations, so he is appearing as Lord Nrsimhadev to save his dear Bhakta Prahlad. And
Om Gyanantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurandiritam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vandeham Shri Guruvaram Shri Rupanugatavaram Rajarasa Vesikam Shalanarayanam Sampapanam Shri Guru Charanam Vande Ramana Prishaya Rutare Rupanuga Bhaktiram Shakripamurti Narayanam Namaste Narishimhaya Praladadadadayane Hiranyakashipur Vaksha Kalaye Tonishimo Paratonishimo Yato Yato Paratonishimo Vahir Nishima Hridaye Nishima Narishim Hamadin Charanam Prabhatiye Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, I offer my obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master, Nitya Krishna Vishnu Pada Suttata Shishimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Swami Maharaj, unto our Guru Parampara, and unto Vaishnavas assembled here today, under the guidance of Srila Prabhupada. So today is a very auspicious, happy, joyous occasion. It's the appearance day of Sri Nrsimhadev, and we're also very fortunate to be in Sri Navadvip Dham, the place just so close by where Nrsimhadev, after manifesting out of the pillar and killing Hiranyakashipu, he came and washed his nails there, and also received Prahlad Maharaj. As Rasi Prabhu just ending that, how Nrsimhadev just appeared for Prahlad. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he says, Pranitanai sadhunam vanashta chaduskritam dharma samstarpanataya sampavani yuge yuge. That millennium after millennium I come to annihilate the miscreants, the demons, kill the demons, but mostly to protect my devotees and come for my devotees. This is why Krishna comes into this world in the form of Nrsimhadev, in the form of Ram. All these different avatars of Krishna, they're coming only for the devotee. So that's what is very beautiful in this passage of Nrsimhadev, is that his devotees are bringing him into this world. And not only Prahlad Maharaj, but also Srila Gurudev has told us that Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, they're also the devotees of the Lord. There's Anyapilasata Shunyam Gyan Kamari Anritam Anukuyena Krishna Sinam Bhakti Utama. That what is the nature of pure devotion is to please Krishna. Everything we're doing is to please Him, all our endeavors. So even we've heard that Hiranyakashipu, they're Jai and Vijay, and just so that the Lord Narayana Vaikuntha, he's getting bored after some time just sitting there and being fanned and worshipped, and not so much action is happening. So they're inspired by the words. Someone inspired in Jai and Vijay that they should come and perform this leela of turning against the Lord. So in 4 lives they came as first, I guess, Ravan and Kumbhakarna. Later they came Shishupal Dandavakra, and also Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. So they're demons, but they came to this world in different forms to increase the Lord's pastimes of enjoying this viras of fighting with demons. So I was listening to one class and Gurudev was asking that, was Hiranyakashipu, was he atheist or theist? And people were sort of scared to answer because they knew either way which way they answered, Gurudev would smash them. But Gurudev said Hiranyakashipu, he was atheist, but he believed in God. So he was against God, but he was devotee, but at the same time he was able to. That was one aspect of this thing. But anyhow, so it was a very wonderful occasion of coming for the devotee. After Sri Prahlad, we were hearing many wonderful teachings by Sri Prabhu of Prahlad as a young boy. In his previous life, actually, Prahlad, he was addicted to one prostitute. He fell and he had a relation with one prostitute and became totally in love with her. And she eventually left him. And then he became very distressed and was wandering here and there, and eventually found himself in one storm, and it was raining intensely. And then he found one old abandoned temple, and he went inside this temple, and all night he was weeping and crying. And he spent the whole night there, in this way, not eating, not sleeping, just weeping. And also, at the same time, this prostitute, she also was lamenting, oh, why did I reject him? And she found herself in the same temple, but they did not know this. And she spent that whole night in the temple, crying and not eating. And they spent the whole night. And then the next day, they saw, oh, you are here, I am here also. But that day that they did this was Nrsimha Chaturdasi, the same day today. And they followed the all day of not drinking anything and only crying in the Lord's temple. And that temple was also a temple of Sri Nrsimhadev. So in the next life, this man, he became Sri Prahlad Maharaj. And from the Sukriti accumulated in that life was just that one night spending in the temple. And in his next life, he took birth in the womb of Kayadu. And in the womb of Kayadu, he heard Harikatha from Narada Muni for 60,000 years. Narada Muni, he came because Hiranyakashipu was such a big demon that he was able to conquer all 14 planetary systems. All the heavenly planets, all the hellish planets. He was the king. He was so powerful that he was even able to reverse all karma and pious activities, if I'm not mistaken. That if you did any good activities, then you would get a bad result. And if you did any bad activities, you would get good results would come. And he was able to make everyone forget Vishnu and attract all worship unto himself. Because he had a great vendetta towards Vishnu, because Vishnu came as the form of Rahadev and killed his brother Hiranyaksha. So he was very disturbed and angered by this. Anyhow, so Narada Muni, he's the celestial space traveler, and he came and knew that the son of Hiranyakashipu would also be very powerful, so I must speak Harikatha to this boy, and he will change the whole world. So for 60,000 years, he heard Harikatha, and after when Prahlad was born, he was able to, at a very young age of only 5 years old, he would preach to his friends. We're hearing how Hiranyakashipu sent him to his demon teachers, I forget their names, and to learn the art of diplomacy and politics and all these nice sciences of how to manipulate the material energy for his own benefit. But instead, Prahlad Maharaj, he was teaching all the boys, chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, and chant Narayan, Narayan, and would do Sankirtan with all his friends. They're just little boys, but they perform Kirtan. And the demons became the teachers, and how do you know this? Where have you learned this? You're not saying the name Narayan, Vishnu, where have you heard this? But he already heard this many times from Narada Muni. So then Hiranyakashipu became very angry upon hearing these, and he tried to punish Prahlad, saying, "What are you doing? Why are you chanting the names of Narayan?" And he ordered his commanders, "Go throw him in one pot of oil, burning oil, or go throw him off a cliff, have the elephants stamp on him and kill this boy. He's like a demon, he befriended my greatest enemy, and so at once destroy this boy." But everything he tried to do, all these very twisted ideas of how to kill this child, they all failed, and Prahlad could not be poisoned, could not be burned, nothing could happen to him. So, and then finally, for the peak of this pastime, then after so many times of Hiranyakashipu trying to kill the boy, then eventually said, "Oh, I will kill him myself." And he was asking Prahlad, "Where is Vishnu? Is he here? Is he there? Is he in this pillar?" "Yes, Father, he's in this pillar." Then Hiranyakashipu goes to punch this pillar, and at that time Nrsingadev manifested and very wonderfully put him on his lap and opened his intestines and wore them like a garland, and was very intense, to say the least. And this was a very great show of love and affection. People, they see this picture of Nrsingadev, like, what is this? There's one little boy, he's holding a garland, and Nrsingadev is sitting there with all these guts and blood and all over himself, with 4 arms, very fierce. And actually in my school one time, I had this picture in my locker, and my teacher said, "What is that?" I said, "Oh, this is my God, actually. My God." This is this boy, and that is his father. His father was not such a nice guy, and then God came and taught him a lesson. So, Prahlad is, Prahlad, he's expansion of Ladini Shakti. He's giving a lot of it. So, anyway. And Nrsingadev, he's reciprocating with Prahlad. He's coming and showing so much affection to him. So anyways, I don't know so much, and I'm very foolish. I hope to hear more details and more lovely things about this day and the glories of Nrsingadev and his devotees. And this place here also will become Panchakopa
ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुवरं श्रीरूपानुगप्रवरं व्रजरसरसिकं च नारायणं तं प्रपन्नं श्रीगुरुचरणं वन्दे रमणपृष्ठाय भूतले रूपानुगभक्तिदं च कृपमूर्तिनारायणम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। The pastimes of Sri Nrsingadev and Prahlad Maharaj and described in the Bhagavatam, this is all actually a glorification of the Bhaktas. Actually everything Sri Sukadeva Goswami included in Srimad Bhagavatam is, and of course, which is actually written by Vyasadeva, but revealed more clearly to him and to everyone by Sukadeva Goswami, The topic of the Bhagavatam is the glorification of the Bhaktas and their Bhakti, which they offer to Krishna. Adi Madhya Ante Bhagavate Ekaya Krishna Bhakti Nitya Siddha Ichara Adi Madhya Ante Bhagavate Ekaya Krishna Bhakti Nitya Siddha Ichara Udgamana. But if anyone reads Srimad Bhagavatam, then he'll find that in the beginning, middle and end of this literature, there is only Krishna Bhakti, and the desire to also cultivate Krishna Bhakti will come into his heart. So, we can begin this story with the four Kumaras. They were actually impersonalists at first. They were Brahmavadis. They weren't Mayavadis. Mayavadi is different than Brahmavadi. Mayavadi is actually fundamentally offensive and completely against scripture and everything. But Brahmavadi means someone who is absorbed in Aksharam or Anirdesham, like the impersonal, unmanifest aspect of the absolute truth. Arjuna asks Krishna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Evam Sattva Yuktaye Bhaktastam Paryupasate Ye Chapyaksharam Abhyaktam Tesham Ke Yoga Vittamam. In essence, he asks Krishna, what do you like better? When somebody is your devotee and worshipping you with love, or do you like when somebody is meditating on your formless and inconceivable aspect? And Krishna says, Maya Vesha Mano Yemam Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayo Vedas Te Me Yukta Tamamata. That person that is Maya Veshita Chetasam, that person that is not just thinking of me, but completely and uncontrollably absorbed in me. They have no choice. They're completely overwhelmed with their affectionate feelings towards me. This is called Avesh. Maya Vesha Mano Yemam Nitya Yukta Upasate. And they're always performing bhakti, which is described already previously by Krishna Premguru, Anya Vilasita Sunyam Jnana Karmatena Vitam Anukulyena Krishna Shidama Bhakti Uttama. Such a person is superior and more dear to me. And he said about those who are worshipping me in an impersonal mood, that's okay, but it'll be very difficult for them, and I'm not so pleased by this. So, we are following Keshava Vrata now, and we've been hearing from the Vaishnavas the glories of Keshava Priya, those who are dear to Keshava. And the heading all of those persons is Srimati Vrinda Devi or Tulsi Devi. And this pastime of Nrsingadev starts when the four Kumaras smelled just the sense of that Tulsi that was offered to the feet of Bhagavan Narayan by Lakshmi Devi. And when this smell entered their senses, they were totally attracted, and their impersonal meditation was shaken. So they immediately decided to find that most attractive, enchanting scent and to see what was going on there. So they went to Vaikunta, that place where there is no kunta, Vaikunta. No troubles, no tension, nothing. There is only Bhagavan and his associates eternally, Bhagavan is eternally accepting service there. So they went there, but actually they weren't at that time taking high-class Vaishnava association, so they did not know how exactly to behave in Vaikunta. And when they came there, of course this is only an example for warning people like me. When they came there, they were arrogant and They thought they could go wherever Narayan was at any time and no one would be able to stop them. No one should stop them. They were so great. They say, why would anyone stop us? We have been meditating. We have no attachment for clothes, houses, anything. We're brahmacharis. So when they were asked just to wait 1 minute at the gate, they became very angry and they cursed Jai and Vijay, who are also eternal bhaktas of Bhagavan Narayan. And just because of this anger that the four Kumaras felt, not only were they disturbed, the whole world was disturbed. And Guru and Vaishnavas always warn us that this anger will destroy all our bhajan, all our sadhana, everything. We should never fall victim to this kind of anger. So when a Brahmin or a Naishtik Brahmachari or a Rishi, like the four Kumaras, give a curse like this, it's very, very, very powerful. So that had to become true. They cursed Jai and Vijay to become demons, and as a result, it was mentioned yesterday also, even the four Kumaras were directly tormented by those two demons that took birth. So just because they weren't thinking and they were arrogantly trying to jump to the lotus feet of Vishnu without proper guidance of bhaktas, they caused so much disturbance. So anugatya is definitely necessary. Then Narayan had to do something. He was thinking, I must help my bhaktas. They are now afflicted by the curse of the Brahmanas, Brahmasap. So we know when Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha were born, so many intense auspicious signs were seen everywhere. There was fire and blood raining from the sky, and jackals were blowing fire from their mouths, and cows were crying. So many scary stuff was going on, and all the bhaktas knew definitely some powerful demon has taken birth now. Then, of course, we know Hiranyaksha did so many monstrosities and was hoarding so much gold from the earth for his selfish enjoyment that the earth actually fell out of orbit. The balance of the earth was disturbed and it fell down into the waters of the not yet finished creation, I think. And so anyhow, the Lord Varaha came and he killed Hiranyaksha, but in this way he was enabling his bhakta to come back to him faster, because they were cursed to have 3 births as demons. So the sooner he could defeat each birth as demons, then they would come back to him and eternally serve him in Vaikuntha. Then on the other side there was Hiranyakashipu, and we've been hearing about all the terrible things he was doing. He took over all the 3 worlds and was a terrible tyrant, to say the least, and stopping all sacrifice, all bhakti, all worship of Vishnu, and trying to force everyone to chant only Hiranyakashipave Namaha. Everyone should worship me. I am the controller, I am immortal. And he even had Indra sweeping in his palace. Then Narayan was thinking, oh, this is very strange, this curse is causing so much problems, I need to save my bhaktas. But what is the best way to save someone? What is the most powerful form of help that the jiva can get? This is described in all Shastra. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Koi, Lavamata Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. Even a small amount of time of real association with the sadhus can immediately give you all perfection. So what did he do? He sent Prahlad to Hiranyakashipu. And Prahlad is Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlada Dayane. He is the giver of Vlad, Prakrishna Rupena Vlad. And Vlad means pleasure. So he always is giving pleasure by his bhakti to the Supreme Lord, and he's giving pleasure to everyone, all the people that come near him, and he's also teaching them how to perform bhakti. So just by the contact and association that Hiranyakashipu had with Prahlad, he was able to have direct audience with Lord Nrsingadev, and Lord Nrsingadev very mercifully and physically took out the Brahma shop from Hiranyakashipu. The Vaishnavas explain he used his nails and dug inside him and was looking for this curse. Where is the curse? I need to take it out. I want my bhakta to come back to me. And he was searching everywhere, and he was licking his devotee and biting him and scratching him and everything. And then in this way, this is his mercy on his devotee, both Jai and Vijay. At the same time, this whole pastime is depicting his love and affection for Prahlad Maharaj. One time they did a play in America for Gurudev of the Nrsingadev Leela and Prahlad Charitra, and at the end Gurudev said this was very nice, very beautiful play, but you should all know that there is no reason to pray, there's no need to pray to Nrsingadev for protection. He has millions of eyes. Sahasra Sirsha Purusha Manogra Sarvashastam. He has so many arms, so many eyes. He is Ananta himself. He can see everything. So why do we need to tell him our problems and ask him to protect us? All we need to do is serve him. We need to take association of the bhaktas like Prahlad and engage in devotional service. And we don't even need to worry about our problems automatically being helped for us, because actually the great devotee even welcomes these problems. Kunti Devi prays that only problems will come to her, so she'll always remember Krishna. The Vaishnavas explained that anyone, actually Gurudev explained, we've heard, anyone that has to cry, anyone that is going through so much tests and troubles and tribulations in order to do Guru Seva or to come close to Krishna, he can actually do bhakti. And when someone has everything easily coming to him in life, then actually how will he cry and how will he be able to quickly advance in devotional service? So Gurudev even explained to so many people that came to meet him, oh, my family is inimical, they would say like this, no one wants me to do bhakti, no one allows me to worship you in front of them. And then Gurudev says, the devotees are actually not afraid of anything, and in such a situation they're longing for Guru and Vaishnavas and Krishna, and their mercy becomes even stronger. So this is actually a good situation that Bhagavan is putting you through. And you should be like Prahlad Maharaj. Gurudev said this countless times. You should be like Prahlad Maharaj, and you should know his teachings. So Prahlad Maharaj tells his little friends, Gomara Macharet Pragyo Dharman Bhagavataniha Sudurlabha Manusha Janma Talabhya Drivamartadam. He's saying that you shouldn't think that later I will do bhakti when I'm old and I can't run around and do karma and all these important things which are actually useless. Then I'll just do bhakti when I'm old, like my grandfather. My grandfather and grandmother, they're doing bhakti. But Prahlad Maharaj says, no, actually there's no time ever. Therefore you should start right now. Stane stita shuti vikatam tanuvan manovir. This is the instruction of our acharyas, that whatever situation you're in right now, try to make that the best, because the jiva is tatashta. At any moment he can be falling down and becoming more degraded, or he can be rising up closer to Krishna. So he's saying at every single moment you have a choice to think, am I pleasing my Gurudev? Am I pleasing Krishna? Am I working towards bhakti or not? Or am I becoming closer to Maya, and am I engaged in all sorts of non-sect activities or becoming closer to that? So, Komaro macharet pragyo dharman bhagavatamiya durlabha manusha janma tarapya drumartadam. And this human form of life is the only chance we have to cultivate such dharma, bhakti. Because whenever Gurudev quotes this verse, or most of the time, he always says another verse, Labdva sudurlabhamidam bhavasambhavante manushamartadam anityamapi hadira turnam yateta napateta namitya javad nishayasaya vishaya kalu sarvatasyat. Vishaya sarvata kalu tasyat. Srila Chirka Maharaj said, this line means that every animal, every species, every insect, they all have vishaya. They all have the chance to gratify their senses. This sense gratification is available in any form of life. So when you finally get the the very rare and precious human form, you should immediately begin to find advanced association and engage in bhakti. Because this body is also temporary. Although it gives this chance, it also will die. So very soon you should engage in bhakti. Like Prahlad Maharaj says, best is from right now, even if you're a small child. And so there's so many teachings of Prahlad Maharaj already spoken about by the Vaishnavas, but this day is very special. We've heard by how Bhagavan is so pleased just by, if someone only gives up eating on this day, at least until dusk, he's so pleased. He's so easy to please. And his heart is so soft. Although he has the most ferocious form, like they explain Jivika Maharaj as being outside like a very ferocious lion or like a hard stone, but inside he was more soft than a rose or flower, many lotus flowers. So this is also exactly like Bhagavan. This ferocious form he has is for our protection and to ward off any obstacles in our cultivation of devotion to him. And it is said, Ugrokya nugra evayam swabhoktanam nikeshari keshariva swabhaktanam anyesham ugra vikrama. Just like the lioness has very sharp teeth and very sharp claws, but and if anyone is trying to disturb her cubs, then she rips them apart. She's very terrible, very terrifying, very scary. But to those same cubs, when there's no danger, she shows so much affection. And with those same teeth, she picks up the cubs and takes them here and there, and they don't feel any discomfort, and they are fully fearless in that shelter. A few years ago, Prabhuji was explaining that Prahlad Maharaj shows us that the devotees must have this mood of a child, of a baby, completely clean and simple. We know that when a baby is born, all he wants is his mother's breast milk, and he can't even conceive of eating other things until he starts getting a little older and feeling more independent. Then he starts at the same time to give up his dependence to his mother and thinks, I can make so many relationships here and there. Then he starts wanting chocolate, then he starts wanting non-veg, and before you know it, he's a demon. So the Vaishnavas warn us time and time again to be ananya, have ananya bhakti, just like Prahlad Maharaj. his form was of a small child, and also his mood was completely like a child, completely clean. And we know that even if a child is beaten by his mother and chastised, then he will cry and cry, but he won't leave his house or anything. He won't go here and there. He'll run straight to his mother's lap and cry. So, but even Prahlad Maharaj didn't, he was in front of everyone defamed by his own Guru Maharaj. Narad Rishi came to Hiranyakashipu and said, "Hey, this Prahlad, this boy is very bad. Don't you know he's going to destroy your whole dynasty? You should probably take care of him." He said this in front of Prahlad Maharaj also. But Prahlad Maharaj was never disturbed. He said, "My Gurudev can do whatever he likes. I don't need him to show me affection. I don't need him to give me wealth. I don't need anything from him. I'm only his servant, his property, and he can do whatever he likes." So this is also an important mood that someone must meditate upon if they want to actually attain pure bhakti. So I'm just trying to repeat a few things I've heard in the past from the Vaishnavas, and I'm praying again and again to the lotus feet of Guru Pada Padma. May my understanding increase of this special lila of Sri Nrsingadev. So many secret, beautiful things the Vaishnavas speak about on this day, and about what is Ugra Shakti, what is the form of Narahari, all these things. I hope I can hear this again and again, because I fully do not understand such high topics. But to understand this, I'm praying to Gurudev again and again, and just trying to fulfill the order of the Vaishnavas. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyo patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo.
मारने के लिए कोई तैयारी करता है? बोलो, कोई जीने के लिए तैयारी नहीं करता, मारने के लिए नहीं। भगवान के लिए सब कुछ तैयार है। अडॉप्शन।
ज्ञानामृतशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय राधिकाय व्याकुले श्रीश्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्तराय इति नामिने। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So first of all, I would like to pay obeisances to my spiritual master, Nityalaya Pravishta Vishnupal, Ashodhara Srimad Bhaktivedanta Nayan Goswami Maharaj, and thereafter to all my spiritual masters who have always been guiding me, and Navdeep Dham, where we are present now, and by whose inspiration we are able to have this Harikatha program here, and we are able to listen to this Harikatha program, which is actually very rare if you try by your own efforts to actually have a program. You open a temple and you try to have Harikatha there and you speak yourself. But Gurudev used to say that when a mundane person speaks Harikatha, he doesn't attract the people to Krishna, he attracts the people to himself. He attracts them to himself. So, what to do? The solution is we go wherever Vaishnavas are present, we listen to the Harikatha, leaving aside our whatever reservations we have in our mind. As we see presently here, people from so many countries are present, leaving aside family, homes and everything. And this is exemplified in the character of Prahlad Maharaj. And today, on this auspicious day, we are also remembering Nrsingadev, who is treating Prahlad Maharaj like a child, and he has this Vatsalya bhav, parental mood towards Prahlad Maharaj. So, in the beginning, Rasik Prabhu said something about Prahlad Maharaj being in the womb for 60,000 years, where he took instructions from Narad Muni. So, an interesting point there to note that his mother was also there, because he was in the womb of the mother, but mother did not change. The child has changed. So why is it so? Why? Because the mother is listening simply because she wants some shelter and she just wants to stay in the temple of Narad Muni, but she doesn't want to change. So that's the trick to to actually change or realize something in this Krishna consciousness movement, that we have to be willing to change. If you are not willing to sacrifice, then there is nothing you can get. If you want to buy something, you spend some money, you get it. So similarly, if we want to get these tattvas, these truths in our heart, and we actually want to realize what is sweetness, what is love, what it means to have a brother, what it means to have a sister or a mother, what is the meaning of God brother, what is the meaning of God sister, then for all these things, it's not our sentiment which counts. What counts is our desire to change. If we have no desire to change, then all our efforts are actually wasted. Like for example, the mother of Prahlad Maharaj is listening so many years. Now what is her mind frame? She is thinking, I am a woman. Or a man is listening for many years, what is his mind frame? I am a man. So it may also be happening to us that we may be on this bodily platform, but we hear in the Bhagavatam, Sarvo Bhadi Vinibhuktam Tat Paramena Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. And bhakti is performed, this devotion is performed when we think ourselves as soul, not as some mundane creature or mundane man or woman. And how do we find it out? Simply everyone thinks I am the Lord, down from the ant to the elephant to the humans to the president, everyone thinks I am great and everyone should follow me, come to me and marry me or anything. They are thinking I am the best. So this is also the problems with us. So how do we find it out? Very simple. If any woman commits any bad behavior towards Vaishnavas, then the woman has to ask herself that if this woman is committing bad behavior towards Vaishnavas, so am I with the Vaishnavas or am I with this woman liberation movement? So if she is with the woman liberation movement, then she will support the woman who is doing Vaishnava Aparadh, which basically means that she is no Vaishnava. Then this is like bogus. Like Prahlad Maharaj is teaching, I am not man, I am not boy, I am not nothing. I am simply soul. And that is why he is dear to God. So that's why Krishna puts us in so many situations where we have to see what we want and who do we love. And Prahlad Maharaj, we see, is put in a similar situation where he has to see who he loves more, his father or God himself. His father is known as a renowned atheist, he is doing many bad things. Yet Prahlad Maharaj, he is not with him. Or like a man, he is not with some other man just because he is a man or because he is from my country. Anything. So why this is important? Because that way we miss on sadhu sangha. Suppose a person is available in some other country and he is advanced and you can learn something from him. So a foolish person, he will think, oh, I am a man or woman from this country, so I only associate with people from my country. Even though this person may not be very highly elevated. So he loses on the chance. And so many lifetimes are passed. So this is the test. We have to see, are we truly free from these designations of caste, creed, man, woman, country or age? Like what someone was telling me a few days ago that, oh, I'd rather stay with people my age. So suppose that, for example, if people your age are not highly qualified in Krishna consciousness, then you miss out the chance. So that's why Prahlad Maharaj says, Kamar Acharat Pragyo, that if you should start it from the beginning of life, and even if you can't, if you find a person who is doing it from the beginning of his life, and you might be old, you might be like 80 years old, 90 years old, but you find a 5-year-old who is doing Krishna consciousness nicely, then better to learn from him. That is called bhakti, that is called intelligence. Like if you go to a job, you want a job, you try for a company which will give you money, not a company which has an old man. So this is the wrong business. Wherever there is money you go, even if it's a kid, even if it's 20-year-old, 5-year-old, whatever. So similarly, Prahlad Maharaj has this choice in the form of his father. When Hiranyakashipu is there and he is getting killed, so what is Prahlad Maharaj saying? He says, oh, thank you Nrsimhadev for killing my father. He was the king of atheists and he was not a very good person. All glory unto you. So we have to ask ourselves, which person of us can think like that even after 55 years or 100 years of Krishna consciousness? He will simply give some excuse, no, this is not possible. So this is the test. And then not only so, Prahlad Maharaj says, what? He says that sadhu rupi modyata vrishchik sarpatya. That sadhus, they are ordinarily very kind and compassion, they have compassion and kindness towards all living entities. But still, they rejoice when cruel people are killed. or 8th circuit. So this is a very big contradiction which Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada had for all his life, 30 years. Why? Because one time he saw his Gurudev, that is Srila Prabhupada, ordering to kill a snake in Mayapur, in Raspatan. So he was surprised that why is my Gurudev ordering such to kill a snake? Because sadhus, they don't have envy towards anybody, but still he is ordering to kill the snake. It's not because so he is thinking why this is happening. So later he is reading the Prahlad Charitra, the pastimes of Prahlad Maharaj, and he reads there this verse which says, Sadhu api modyata, vrishchik sarbhatya. For people who are envious and who don't like the devotees and who are always creating problems for the devotees and also for God and for other living entities, even the sadhus, they enjoy it when they are dead. And who is saying this? Prahlad Maharaj, who is the son of this Hiranyakashipu, to Nrsimhadev. So that is the type of devotion, that is the type of loyalty which is required in bhakti. And when you have this loyalty, then you can understand the teaching of Prahlad Maharaj. Like Prahlad Maharaj is saying that this world is a very dangerous place, and this family life is like Griha Andhakupam. It's like a dark well where everyone falls. Why? Because once you go there, you can't actually do anything. So that's why Gaurav Maharaj, he said many times that you should all not marry and you should simply stay in the ashram and saffron brahmacharis and do bhakti. Then after the class ended, he said, okay, if you like, you can marry. So the disciples, they were confused. So they came to Gaurav Maharaj, they said, oh Maharaj, you are telling in the class, do not marry, this is bad, this is Griha Andhakupam. And outside the class, you are saying, oh, you should marry. Then Gaurav Maharaj said, Arey Baba, this is Kaliyug, nobody can follow properly. So what can I do? I just give them some concession. But the point is, we don't have to leave the standard which is there, which is set by Prahlad Maharaj, our Gurudev and the Guru Varga, that we have to stay and give ourselves only to Krishna. Why? Because Krishna is absolute. He is the best person in the world. So why would you settle for something less, or somebody less, for marriage or anything? So therefore, people who worship Krishna, people who are worshippers, soon their family life is finished. If they are married, they get divorced. If they have fathers, their fathers leave them. But anything like this happens. But what the devotees think, they think that now they are cursed. This is very bad happening. They should not get divorced. And then they marry again and again and again and again and again, not realizing the mercy of Krishna in sending this anartha away. So now today on this auspicious day, we have to pray to the Nrsimhadev that please, he can perform surgery on us, like he is performing surgery on his dear devotee, his Hiranyakashipu, and to relieve us from all these material affections and make our mind one-hearted and give us pure bhakti towards his lotus feet. Thank you very much.
Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Vandeham Shri Guru Varam Shri Rupanuga Prabharam Vajrasa Rasikam Chadanayanam Thampalam Shri Guru Taranam Vande Ramana Prastaya Bhute Rupanuga Bhaktitam Chadipamurtim Narayanam Shri Krishna Lila Kathane Sudaksha Madhurya Madhurya Gunashtayakam Vayanvarnyam Prasamhantam Narayanam Tam Shrisananam Namah Vishnumadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutade Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Pashkata Nishitarine For my Anandam pronouns to Guru Varga and all the assembled Vaishnavas, headed by Shrimati Babaji, Premananda Babaji, and Krishna Guna Prabhu, and Rasi Prabhu, Prembadi Prabhu, and all the assembled Vaishnavas according to my understanding of them. Like Venu said, huh? Everybody. Venu,
Thakur,
Thakur, Shiva, everybody.
no Balbhadra,
Balabhadra,
your Guru Rishi,
I said. Asikananda, Devakinanda,
Sadananda,
Sadananda,
Sukhdev,
Sukadev, Prabhupada, everybody.
Guru, Mataji's,
I like all of these. Like Venu, I like what Venu said. He used to say, according to my understanding of them, I give my respects, and I pray that I can understand them better according to their mercy. So we're very fortunate. Padmanabha Maharaj used to say, we can't estimate our fortune, the fact that we're here in Namakirtan, under the guidance of Guru Varga and Vaishnava, and so near to Nishingapali. And Vaishnavas given all the other Vaishnavas here a chance to speak, to try to get rid of poison and try to purify ourselves. Because sometimes when we speak, sometimes this poison comes out first, and that poison has to come out before the healing can start to happen. So I have a few notes that I wanted to speak about, and maybe not in chronological order, and maybe I'll jump around a little bit here and there. But first thing I want to point out was that, are there any questions? I have to have a question. If I'm going to talk about something, I have to have a question.
Krishna is now in his topic, then he's starting up.
Okay. Stop now? Is that right? Okay.
After class, Shadam, and Abhishek, then he started.
Oh no, tomorrow.
Now today night,
Okay.
complete night. This is course. So bring him. He's afraid, first time, he's asking question. What is the meaning of this? Who asking him? Who asking him? Chalo.